Hi there and welcome along. Now, if you're growing dahlias at home and want to generate your own plants from splitting your existing tubers, taking cuttings is a really viable way of making sure that you have an identical plant to the one that you already got. And as I mentioned in an earlier video, I never allow my dahlia tubers to produce more than 3, 4 or 5 shoots per tuber, limiting the actual size and growth of the actual plant so it's easy to handle and produces lots and lots of flowers. However, if you've got a particular tuber like this one which has produced loads of growth, you have the opportunity of actually cloning this plant by taking a softwood cutting. And once you've learned the principles of this could not be easier. So to take dahlia cuttings at home, you're going to need a few basic pieces of equipment. You're going to need a dahlia tuber like this one that has grown and produced more than 3, 4 or 5 shoots, so you have some media to work with. You're going to need a sharp and clean pruning knife. Something like this one is very, very good. You're going to need some compost that you've mixed with some perlite so it's nice and open and free draining. And you're also going to need some hormone rooting powder as well. Start, if you're growing your dahlia tuber, in a pot by knocking it out of the pot. Be very, very delicate with it at this stage. So take your hand, splay your fingers and place it between the actual shoots of the plant, making sure you have full control over the root ball. Simply then turn it up and knock it out of its pot. You can see this one's got a really, really lovely root ball, but I don't want to damage it at this stage by taking cutting. So I'm just going to roll it over and pop it on the bench. The important thing to bear in mind when taking a softwood cutting from a dahlia is you don't actually just need the growth, you actually need a little tiny heel from the actual tuber itself. So taking your knife, knock off a little bit of the soil away from the tuber and simply separate the shoot away from the tuber itself. You want to make sure that you're taking with it a little bit of heel. That particular tissue will be the bit that actually produces growth. Something along this line here, as you can see, got a nice little bit of woody growth here, and I want to simply remove these lower leaves, shorten this stem back, take it back to just 2 leaf nodes, remove that, and that particular stem is absolutely perfect. So you need a little bit of heel from the tuber itself. This is the bit that has the ability to actually grow shoots and eyes in the future, and once the roots have started forming, it will start to form a tuber itself. Once you've placed the parent safely back in its pot, you're now clear to get on and pot up your new cutting. So taking a basic 3-inch pot, I'm just going to fill that with some compost, which I've mixed with around 25% perlite, just to open it up a little bit. I'm taking my cutting, which I've obviously taken back to around 2 leaf nodes, and I'm then going to dip this in some hormone rooting powder. Give it a little knock off, you don't want too much, and then just insert it into the outside of a plastic pot. I normally find a little dibbing stick is absolutely perfect for this. Don't be tempted to shove this straight into the soil, because all that will do is wipe all the hormone rooting powder off of the actual stem itself. You want that to obviously remain at the foot where it's most needed the most. Insert that into some compost, give that a little firm down. You can see that's there. Make sure that you label this. You can get 2 or 3 into the outside of an edges of the pot and cover this in a plastic see-through sandwich bag and place an elastic band around it, creating a little tiny cloche. Give this a really good water and put this on a bright windowsill or into the greenhouse. And in around 2 or 3 weeks time, this cutting should have rooted and actually be producing its own plant. Once it's at that stage, you can divide however many cuttings you've got in your pot into separate individual pots, pot them up into something in the region of about a 4-inch diameter pot and grow them on for the rest of the winter. These will create plants and tubers for you to overwinter and then bed out next year.